Howdy y'all, and welcome back to Cup of Cheer. So you might have noticed a couple things. First of all, that I am outside, and maybe you're wondering why I am filming outside. And I have a new lapel mic, which is just completely fun little news that I got for Christmas as something to make my filming a little easier. Well, why am I filming outside right now instead of in my house? Well, partially because this is one that's a little harder to talk about. And the pressure of saying it around my family is a little bit harder to film. So here I am outside of my house in front of our nativity in the front garage. And I wanted to talk to you about what made this Christmas so special. And also so hard. I hope that the surrounding is easy to see and hear through, but this is just the environment that I thought I could film in. So here we go. What about this Christmas, 2024, was so special to me? Well, it's been a hard few years, as anyone who follows me probably already knows. We've had a lot of health scares between myself and my mom and my dad over the last few years. And honestly, my health stuff has gotten to the point where I've been afraid to leave the house much at all, afraid to do a lot of things. Honestly, I've had some really good days, don't get me wrong, but I've had some really scary moments. And we've been going through trying to find doctors and trying to run tests. And there was one particular test that I had to do this December that was the scariest for me. One, because it used medication that I didn't know if I was allergic to or not. And what if I had a reaction? What would they do for me? Would I survive even the tests? And that might sound extreme, but honestly, I didn't know. And this part's the silly part. I also was really upset that I couldn't have chocolate for 24 hours because that is Christmas-like delicacy to me. But here's the strange thing that happened after those tests. I had a lot of tests between October and mid-December to try and at least narrow down some of the things that could be wrong with me. And there's a weird thing about having medical tests. First of all, it's scary to get them done. Second of all, many of them can be painful. And thirdly, some of them can actually set you back, physically and emotionally. And then lastly, a weird thing about tests is that often when you've had a major medical test, you're on pins and needles for however long it takes to find out the results of those tests, but not this Christmas. And I honestly think that's a precious gift from God above. You see, oftentimes there'd be this fear of what those results might mean, and so you're just thinking about it constantly. And I've had that. I've had that several times with tests and waiting for the results. This Christmas, I spent so long just waiting for a doctor, just waiting for the test to happen, that when it came time to wait for the results, I knew there was nothing a doctor could do about these results for another several weeks to a month at the very earliest. And I made the very intentional decision to not find out the results, not look at the results, which I have in an envelope, or ask any friend's advice who knows about these medical conditions that could possibly be in the results. From the day of the last test until I see my doctor, I don't want to know. And there was this freeing moment that happened. I hate the term live like you're dying because honestly, I think that song kind of gets it wrong in a sense from the perspective of someone who's watched someone die. It's very hard to go skydiving, rocky mountain climbing, do all those things when you are literally on your deathbed. But when you live like you're living, like you're not afraid of dying, that's kind of how I spent December. And it was so beautiful. And I was able to see friends that I haven't seen in a long time and spend time with friends in ways I haven't been able to spend time in a long time. I felt freer and stronger and more alive. It felt like before my fall in a certain sense. It felt like before lockdowns, before all these crazy things have happened. and it felt beautiful. Sure, there were still aspects of my chronic illness and chronic pain that's still undiagnosed that reared their ugly heads. Like, I had to have people come to me more than I could come to them still. Some plans had to get canceled or at least very long postponed. Yeah, that happens. I couldn't have all the desserts I wanted, but boy, did I have a lot more desserts than I've had in a long time. And a lot of my pain, my gifts actually were related to helping with my pain issues, or at least giving me the freedom of movement and access to doing things like this, like the lapel mic, to be able to do filming easier through my chronic pain stuff. And some of my favorite gifts actually have to do with things that make life easier for me right now, and things that make life more comfortable for me right now. And that could be really depressing to somebody else, but to me, it was so beautiful. In fact, strangely enough, one of my favorite things that I got for Christmas is a new set of wheels for my wheelchair that I've had since I was about 12 years old, 10 years old, somewhere in there. I am just so happy that I can finally have the freedom of mobility if my legs just randomly give out on me somewhere, and I know how my wheelchair works and I know how to use it for my body. And now that my wheelchair wheels are no longer scratched up and too hard for me to use, I have freedom of movement again. And some people were really sad for me about that, but I am really happy for me about that. I don't know what's going to happen in a week or two when I see the doctors that are going to tell me the results from those tests that I have put off knowing the results from. Some might say I've been avoiding life, been avoiding reality, and in a way you're true. That's true. I've also been embracing life in a way I haven't been able to for a long time because I've been clouded in fear and pain, and I just really wanted to focus on God and Christmas and my friends and my family in a way I haven't been able to in a long time. And that's been beautiful. I pray that after we find out whatever the results are, that I can continue living at least somewhat like this. I pray that maybe I can learn some lessons about how my body worked better during this season, unless it was just a gift for a season. If there was something to learn, I do pray I learned it, or I am learning it. I don't know what tomorrow holds or next week holds, but I wanted to film this before life got in the way and either scared me to ever say anything again or made me forget what I was thinking about at the time. So for everyone who has gotten to be part of my Christmas merriment, for coming over to our house and being part of Christmas tree lightings and light looking and baking and so much more that I haven't gotten to do in so very long. Thank you. To our cousins and my brother and our friends that we have Skyped with, I mean, my mind is blown with the many things that God has allowed us to pack into this short amount of time. Thank you for being part of this with us. Honestly, it's been a blessing to share this with you too. And to everyone on here who has been wondering where I've been for the last 2 weeks and maybe thinking the worst, it's actually been for good, with a little trepidation at the future. So we'll see. Please keep praying. We don't have answers yet, and I don't know what the answers are going to bring. But for now, I'm so grateful for this respite. I am so grateful for Christmas being my year's Sabbath. If you want more information about that little tidbit of my life, I might be posting another video about that. But you can also try to look back at other videos that I've made around Epiphany season. Outdoor sounds, gotta love them. Anyways, thank you for watching this far. Thank you for being part of my Christmas traditions and my family's Christmas season. From me and mine, to you and yours, a very Merry Christmas and a cup of good cheer. Bye.